Welcome again to the old principal. I am the old principal, 老校长, and we have another interesting lesson today, kind of funny a little bit. I think you'll enjoy this one. So, this is lesson number 204, Jimmy meets Marcia. Jimmy meets Marcia. And so with that, let's ask Connie to read this story, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Story 204, Jimmy meets Marcia. Jimmy, an 80-year-old gentleman, retired to Florida after his wife of 58 years had passed away. He was quite alone in the world and longed for companionship. One day, as he was walking through a public park, he spied what he considered to be a very pretty silver-haired lady sitting alone on a park bench. Getting his nerve up, he approached the lady and asked graciously, "Pardon me, ma'am, but may I sit here with you?" The silver-haired Marcia looked up to see a distinguished-looking white-haired gentleman and replied, "Why, certainly," and scooted over gently to give him room to sit down. For the next 2 hours, the elderly pair sat and talked about everything. They discovered that they came from the same part of the country. They liked the same big band music, voted for the same presidential candidates. They'd had long, happy marriages, lost their spouses in the last year, and in general agreed about almost everything. Finally, the old gentleman cleared his throat and asked sheepishly, "Ma'am, may I ask you 2 questions?" With great anticipation, Marcia replied, "Why, certainly." The old gentleman removed a handkerchief from his coat pocket and spread it out on the ground before her. He very gingerly got down on one knee and looked her softly in the eyes. "Marcia, I know we've only known each other for a couple of hours, but we have so much in common. I feel I have known you all my life. Will you marry me and be my wife?" Marcia grabbed Jimmy's hands and said, "Why, yes, I will marry you. You have made me so happy." She reached over and kissed him gently on the cheek. Then Marcia asked, "You said you had 2 questions to ask me. What's your second question?" Jimmy scratched his neck and said, "Will you help me get up?"
Okay. Welcome back. We're going to begin here with Jimmy. Jimmy is an 80-year-old gentleman. Gentleman, 这个老先生啊，80岁的老先生啊。He is retired to Florida. Florida is the farthest place down in, well, we say the sunny south. It's down in 东南角, okay? And way down there in the corner of the United States, Florida is usually quite warm, okay? In fact, during the summer, very warm. And it's a good place where oranges grow and lots of more tropical kinds of fruit. Anyway, lots of people like to retire in Florida. It's warm, it's nice. There are many retirement 退休的地方，许多，特别多了。Okay, Jimmy is an 80-year-old gentleman, retired to Florida after his wife of 58 years. Okay, now, that doesn't mean she's 58 years old. That means 他们已经结婚58年，他的妻子才这个去世了，死了。So his wife of 58 years, that means she was his wife for 58 years before she died. Going on, he was quite alone in the world. He was quite alone. 感到很孤单呢。Quite alone in the world and longed. What does it mean? He longed for something. 渴望 okay? 渴望 companionship. What is companionship? Okay? 有人做他的伴侣啊。Well, I imagine that if you've been married for 58 years and you've lost your wife, you would feel very alone, 很孤单. You would feel like you wanted a friend or somebody to be with. Now remember, he is how old? That's right, 80 years old. Going on. One day he was walking through a public park, 公园, public park. Whoa, that one's a very easy one to do. Sometimes we say park. We don't say public park. But this says public. It's very good English. As he was walking through the public park, he spied, 就看见了, 看见 what he considered to be a very pretty silver-haired lady sitting alone on the park bench. Okay. He spied, 他就看见 okay, what he considered, 他认为是 very pretty, 很美丽的 silver hair. Silver hair is 白头发, okay? 白头发 lady sitting alone. So she's sitting alone, 单独, just by herself. And he says, on the park bench. Okay, in the park, you have these 长凳子, 长椅子. Okay, and so here is this lady. She is sitting alone on the park bench. He spies her. Spying is, it's just another word for 他看见. And so, what's he going to do? Going on, getting up his nerve. Now, getting up his nerve or getting his nerve up, that means 弄一弄他的勇气. You know, sometimes if I say I don't have the nerve to do it, 我不敢做. Okay? Sometimes we say he's nerveless, he's afraid. Okay? So to get up one's nerve or get one's nerve up simply means to figure out a way to get his 勇气 up, so his bravery, so that he is willing to do something. Let's go back. No, wait a second. Go back there. He approached the lady. Approached the lady. That means he walked up to the lady and said graciously. Graciously is a nice way of saying it very nicely, very softly, very kindly, in a very polite, 很有礼貌的. Okay? Pardon me, 对不起, pardon me, or you could say 抱歉, but maybe 对不起, we say this more common, 对不起, ma'am. And ma'am is a, how can you say, a high class way of saying a lady, a sir and a ma'am. Sir is 先生, ma'am is a lady. So he says, pardon me, ma'am, but may I sit here with you? 但能不能够让我坐在这个长凳子上跟你在一起 Okay? So this is a very interesting situation going on. The silver-haired Marcia, silver-haired, 白头发 Marcia. So this is the other person. What's the man's name? The man's name is Jimmy. This is Marcia. She looked up to see a distinguished-looking white-haired gentleman and replied. Okay, she looked up, 抬头. She saw to see a distinguished-looking white-haired gentleman. 有白头发, what is a distinguished-looking person? A distinguished-looking person is a person that looks very important. To be distinguished means 有一点的成就感, okay? To distinguish yourself in something means to 做某一件事情做得好. So a distinguished-looking person means 不是一般的人, he is a special person. So let's go back here now. She saw this distinguished, 又是 distinguished-looking, 又是 white-haired gentleman, 先生. And here is what she replied. Why, certainly. 肯定. Okay, I don't know why we say why certainly. It's why doesn't have any meaning here. It just simply says 当然可以. Okay, and scooted over 就把他自己这个走开一点点 over gently 这个轻轻的这个走开一点点 to give him room to sit in 让给他有一点点空位 to give him room to sit down 坐下来 going on. For the next 2 hours, the elderly pair, 这个老人 两位老人 sat and talked about everything. They talked about this and they talked about that. Going on, they discovered that they came from the same part of the country. 从他们的国家同一个地方啊，同一个地方而来的。So they came from the same part of the country. Okay, going on. They like the same big band music. Okay, big, 大. Okay, band is 乐团, 音乐, big band music. So we're talking about something a few years ago. I'm not sure that we have big band music now, but quite a few years ago they had, well, if any of you know anything about that you had Lawrence Welk, and he had a musical group. I mean, this is when I was young, okay? This is a long time ago. They liked the same music. They liked the same, and they voted for the same president. 这个总统候选人，他们也通过了 ，OK？I mean， 他们也投票，不是通过，为了这个候选人投票，选的是同一个人。So many things they have in common going on. They'd had long, happy marriages, okay? Both of them had long, happy marriages. Now, you see this had, that means that it's past tense. Long, happy marriages. 所以这个连 Marcia, 她现在是寡妇。She had lost her husband. Her husband has died. They lost their spouses in the last year. 最近1年来，他们两个都失去他们自己的配偶。And in general, they agreed about almost everything. 几乎所有的事情，他们的看法是相同的。They agreed about almost everything. Going on. Finally, the old gentleman cleared his throat and asked sheepishly, "Ma'am, may I ask you 2 questions?" Now, this is very important, so keep in mind we're talking about 2 questions. Ma'am, my dear lady, I want to ask you 问你2个问题 Okay? So it says he cleared his throat. 清了清啊，清一清啊，他的嗓子。Clear your throat. 这清清嗓子 is to clear the throat. Sometimes when I'm doing television programs, I need to clear my throat. Okay? And he asked sheepishly. Okay, now here's a good word. Sheepishly. Sheepishly. You know what a sheep is? Sheep is young. So if you are sheepish, you are acting like a sheep. What is a sheep? Very quiet, 很温柔，有一点点不好意思啦，看起来好像是不好意思，很害羞。It's all included in the idea of sheepish. Okay? Okay, so what did he say? I want to ask you 2 questions. And going on, the old, with great anticipation, Marcia replied, "Why, certainly, of course." Going on, the old gentleman removed his handkerchief from his coat pocket. My handkerchief is in my back pocket, but anyway, that's a handkerchief. Okay, he removed his handkerchief from his coat pocket and spread it out on the ground. So what did he do? He spread it out on the ground. Okay, so you can see this is a high-class person. He puts his handkerchief down on the ground. 摆在这个地上 Going on. He very gingerly got down on one knee and looked her softly in the eyes. Now, let's take a look at this. He very gingerly, okay, very carefully, gingerly is another way of saying very carefully, okay? You know what ginger is? 生姜. But in this case, you add an ly and just means to be very careful. Strange. English is strange. He very gingerly, very carefully got down on one knee, 一个膝盖. Where does he put it? He put it on top of this, on top of the handkerchief. Okay? And he looked her softly in the eye. 看这个很柔软的，这个温暖的，就看他的眼睛。Oh, what is he going to do? Going on. Marcia, we've only known each other for a couple hours. 我们这彼此认识只有几个小时，2个小时 maybe 2 hours. Not very long, okay? Okay? But we have so much in common. 但是我们所有的很多大部分是很相同的，很相同。We have so much in common. That means they thought alike, they did things alike, they're from the same part of the country. Remember all these things that we have looked in the story. We have so much in common. Going on. I feel I have known you all my life. 我感到好像我人生都认识你。Okay. Will you marry me and be my wife? 你愿意不愿意嫁给我，做我的妻子？ Whoa! Going on. Marcia grabbed Jimmy's hands and said, 她抓了他的双手。And she said, why, yes, I will marry you. 我愿意嫁给你。I am willing to marry. 跟你结婚了。You have made me so happy. So during this time of talking, Jimmy had made, again, here is another lonely heart. Marcia doesn't have her husband anymore. 所以她非常孤单。And so he says, Jimmy, you have made me so happy. You have made me very, 你使我非常快乐。She reached over and kissed him gently on the cheek. Okay? She reached over, 她往前一点点亲吻他的脸颊。This is your cheek. We all have cheek. My cheek has a beard on it, but so she kissed him here on the cheek. 脸颊. Okay. Then Marcia asked, said, you said that you had 2 questions. You remember Jimmy had said, I want to ask you 2 questions. So already he has asked the first one, will you marry me? And she said, and she of course, 她答应了, she agreed, okay? But then Marcia says, excuse me, you said you had 2 questions. What is the second question? Okay? So now, what do you think he's going to ask for the second question? And here it is. Jimmy scratched his neck. 他抓了他的脖子. This is a nervous reaction. 好像是有一点紧张. And so he's grabbing his neck, scratching his neck, and he said, will you help me to get up? Now, at this point, that's the end of the story. I must say that when the intensity of the story builds like this, and she says, yes, I will marry you, then the next question is, she's thinking maybe he'll ask tomorrow or the next day. But didn't, just help me get up. Okay, well, here's our email address, theoldprinciple@gmail.com, and our website at www.theoldprinciple.org. Many times in life, we expect people to say one thing, but they don't quite say it. Well, we've enjoyed sharing with you another interesting story, and we look forward that you will join us for another session. See you then.